Good afternoon. My name is Karlene Navarro, and I am the Director of the Independent Office of Law Enforcement Review and Outreach, commonly known as IOLERO in Sonoma County. As the Director of IOLERO, I review complaints against the Sheriff's Office, and I make policy and training recommendations to the Sheriff's Office based on those complaints. So to give you an idea of what that means, historically, you could always make a complaint against a police officer if you felt that he violated your rights or treated you badly, but that complaint would go to internal affairs where it would be reviewed by other police officers. So because we had issues with bias and that kind of a system, there's been a movement more recently to incorporate more civilian oversight. So that means that an independent, neutral third party like me reviews the complaints and makes a finding and then makes recommendations to the police agency about how they can make improvements and avoid future instances of, say, uh, biased or racist policing or excessive force. Before I became the director of IOLERO, I was a public defender and criminal defense attorney for about 11 years. I was also an appellate attorney, which means that I appealed cases to the appellate court in criminal cases. And I also taught legal research, writing, and analysis at the University of San Francisco School of Law. With regard to why I decided to pursue my career and where I am who I am, from the time I was a very little girl, I wanted to be a lawyer. I grew up in a really rough neighborhood, and all around me, I saw people dealing with immigration concerns and aggressive police and employment discrimination and a mountain of other problems that they felt like they couldn't fix or didn't know how to fix. So, to give you an idea of what I mean by rough neighborhood, we had a big picture window in the living room of the home that I grew up in, but we weren't allowed to sit or play in that room as kids because there were so many drive-by shootings in the neighborhood where I grew up. Once we came home, well, it felt like our house got burglarized all the time. But once we came home and realized that the door frame of the house had been cracked open and there were brown paper shopping bags all over the living room floor where our jewelry and other belongings had been split up by the burglars who were still in the house. So that was a pretty scary experience. And after that, my dad built a concrete and wrought iron fence around the perimeter of our house, and he would lock it whenever my parents left the house. What stands out in my mind about that fence is that whenever we came home, boys from the neighborhood would often be lined up on the floor against the fence, being questioned by the police, and often my brothers would be sitting with them. I always wanted to intervene and help when I witnessed police contacts. It didn't really matter to me whether my loved ones had done anything wrong. I always felt like people should be treated with dignity and respect no matter what had happened. So I decided that I wanted to go to law school early on in my life, but I didn't know any lawyers, so I had to find my own pathway. In ninth grade, I got a job in a small law firm as a mail distributor. In college, I got a job in a bigger law firm as a file clerk. And after college, I worked as a paralegal in a large law firm, which helped me to save up for law school. Um, I was the first in my family to graduate and earn a high school diploma, so it was a big accomplishment for me to go to law school and become a lawyer, and it's something that I enjoy very much. I became a public defender in 2007. There are a lot of things that I like about being a lawyer. Lawyers help people solve problems, and I really like looking at a problem and analyzing the law and finding a solution to it. I could sit and do legal research and writing for hours and be very happy. On the other hand, in my current position, I do a lot of community outreach and I get invited to a lot of community events like Career Day. And I enjoy getting out and talking to young people. Sometimes it's the best part of my day, and it makes me feel like I'm making a contribution to the community that I live in. I think the best advice that I can share with you is to be kind. You know, you're going to meet a lot of people in your life on the road to your future and your future career. And you may not always remember their name, and they may not always remember your name, but you will remember how they treated you. So keep that in mind as you go through your days, you know, and toiling along. Um, the second thing that I would say would be to be a hard worker. Invest in yourself, in your community. Um, and third, be brave. You know, there's going to be times in your life when you feel inadequate and you feel afraid or intimidated, and that's okay. Stand up straight, put your game face on, and take your shot. Sometimes it's going to feel like you are failing more times than you succeed, but do not stop. Do not give up. Keep working hard. You will succeed. You are good enough. My time is up, but I'm always happy to answer additional questions or get together for coffee. You can reach me at my office at 707 565 1534 or in my email at karlene.navarro@sonoma-county.org. Good luck and thank you for watching my video.